Exciting fighter, Jennings. You know what he's capable of. Just can't afford to get caught cold.
#1 challenger as well, perhaps for a world title at some way in the future, but first he's got to account for this fella.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again, and welcome to the Nottingham Arena. Tonight, Frank Warner's Sports Network, in association with David Caldwell, live and exclusive on ITV, sponsored by the News of the World, big on boxing and on the internet with www.frankwarren.tv, proudly present 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the welterweight championship of Great Britain. The officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control. Steward in charge at ringside, Mr. Dave Roden. Timekeeper at the bell, Mr. Harry Foxall. The 3 scoring judges at ringside are all from England, namely Howard Foster, John Keane, and Terry O'Connor. Finally, when the action commences, the star referee in charge of the action, Mr. Mark Green from Chadwell Heath. And so, people of Nottingham and viewers watching on ITV, this is the Big Fight Live! Introducing to you firstly the challenger this evening, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the silver-coloured shorts trimmed with red and blue. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 10 stone, 5 pounds, 8 ounces. He has an outstanding record consisting of 20 contests, 19 wins, 11 of those wins coming by way of knockout, with only the 1 solitary defeat. Coming to the ring this evening as the former undefeated light welterweight champion of England, presenting from West Bromwich, young Mutley. And opposing him, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the red-coloured shorts trimmed with black and white. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 10 stones, 6 pounds, 4 ounces. He has a perfect, unblemished record, 28 contests, 28 wins, 13 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he makes the second defense of his championship, presenting from Charlie, the welterweight champion of Great Britain, Michael the Lurcher Jennings. Referee Mark Green with his final instructions. 12 3-minute rounds.
Hey gentlemen, I spoke to you both in the dressing room. Remember what I told you? Protect yourselves at all times. Shake hands, good luck to both of you.
Well, this fight has been really eagerly anticipated in the trade. Michael Jennings against young Mutley. Mutley, who's got a real reputation of being a ferocious puncher. The left hook is the danger punch. Jennings can be a slow starter. He was caught cold in his last contest by Bradley Price. This first 3 minutes could be one of the key moments of the fight.
It certainly could be. Mutley not only can bang with the left hook, but he can also bang with the right hand. We've seen him flatten guys with a single shot, so Jennings is going to have to be at his utmost sharpest. Just starting nice and cautiously behind a nice, tight, high guard. Just has to try and box with this kid.
Well, Mutley, somebody who likes to have a fighter coming on to him, and that's precisely the way Jennings fights. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jennings varies his tactics here, and straight away you see Mutley trying to unload with those big hooks.
Yeah, and it was the right hand that just clipped Jennings. And I mean, Jennings is fully aware of his power, so he's just trying to be nice and cagey, just trying to box his way into this fight until he finds his rhythm.
The origins of Mutley, incidentally, his dad, who was a bit of a handful himself and a big West Brom fan, was known as Mutley. And so when this fella Lee Woodley decided that he was going to turn professional, his trainer, Errol Johnson, said, well, why not call him Young Mutley? So there you go. And I'm certainly not going to argue about it.
Oh, you're certainly not, John, you and me both. He's very, very well built. He's got a tremendous physique as a young Mutley.
Yeah, he's stepping up a division. And you wondered whether or not that would be a factor, but he certainly looks as though he's got the sort of physique and the sort of strength whereby the extra 7 pounds will be no sort of a hindrance at all. These two just feeling each other out in the opening periods, nothing of great purpose or note thrown so far.
But the champion has to respect Mutley's reputation. He really does.
Michael Jennings knows that he's got to box his way here and cannot afford to get caught cold as he did by Price. And there are two ways of looking at that Bradley Price fight. He won it, but it was such a grueling contest. Will that have taken something out of Jennings, or conversely, will it have been a learning fight?
I believe it would have been a learning fight for him. He hasn't had too many wars in his career, albeit a short career, so it would be on the learning curve.
His 29th professional fight, Michael Jennings. He caught Mutley with a decent right hand in that last exchange, probably the best punch of the fight so far. Mutley not moved by it at all. He's got a real bull-like neck about him. He's got a terrific physique, hasn't he, for a lightish sort of fighter.
He certainly has. He's heavy-handed. Obviously, his work rate's going to be a little bit slower than the champion's because he relies on that power.
Jennings looks as though he's got the edge in hand speed. Just picked Mutley off by another right hand again, and another one coming in.
10 seconds. Seconds out, round 2.
Second round, tentative sort of opening from both men. A great deal of respect, clearly, particularly from Jennings. But I thought he just edged it, Duke, by those 2 or 3 flashy right hands over the top.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with that, John. Just that the wider volume of punches were from the champion, but this one's sure to catch fire.
It's going to be an interesting contest, this. You can almost sense the phony war situation about it. The fireworks, you can guarantee, will start sooner or later. Jennings started his career very much in the shadow, if you like, of the likes of Ricky Hatton, and was known a little bit as a non-puncher, but you know, he's won 10 of his last 13 inside the distance. How things change.
Well, again, it's his busy work rate, it's his busy style that he has. You know, normally wears the fighters down systematically with pinpoint accurate punches.
He's a big believer in work him out once you get into the ring, Jennings. So he's of the opinion that you can plan too much for an opponent. He says, let's have a look at what he brings actually in there and then react accordingly.
Well, obviously he's got a strategy for every fight, and every fight's different, and as you can already see, he's got a different strategy for this fight as he did his last fight. He has to respect this boy's power. Mutley's as dangerous on the back foot as he is on the front foot, so Jennings has just got to, you know, approach this fight with extreme caution. You know, keep popping the jab.
Good left hand from Mutley. You see, he felt that one, Duke.
He's heavy-handed, as I said. He can fight just as effectively on the retreat as he can on the attack. So Jennings just has to approach this fight with extreme caution, not be drawn, rely on his boxing skills at all times.
Jennings boxed his way neatly, precisely through that first 40 seconds. And then came the one left hook from Mutley. Didn't catch him absolutely flush, but you saw in an instant just what the danger of this fella is.
Well, Mutley's like the predator in this fight. He really is. He's just waiting for the champion to make a mistake, and then he's going to make him pay.
He knows that this is his great opportunity. In his own words, he said he could have been looking at a bad life if he'd not come into boxing. He had a spell inside a few years back in prison for an assault charge on a police officer, and he knows that boxing has done an awful lot for him. His trainer, Errol Johnson, encouraged him to keep at it, to stick at it.
The champion's just busier at the moment.
Yeah.
Even when he's not throwing punches, he's looking busy doing nothing. And he's got Mutley a little bit confused because he's given him some nice lateral movement.
Maybe another round then to Michael Jennings.
Yeah, at this moment, Jennings is just, as I say, his volume of punches is good.
Stay there now, stay there, stay there.
Good left hand that was.
Round 3.
Into the third round. Mutley landed with the one big left hook, but Jennings has done enough just on boxing ability so far, perhaps to have edged the first two.
Yeah, I've just got Jennings winning both the rounds, but only just. Mutley's given a good account of himself up until now.
Oh dear me, that's another big left hook from Mutley, and he cannot afford to get caught by those, Jennings. If he walks into one of those and it catches him flush, that is going to be danger.
Well, this is a much more dangerous fight than Jennings' last fight, because this boy is a bigger puncher, obviously, and he's very well schooled. He's very, very patient. He knows he can punch, and he's waiting to land the right hand followed by the left hook. So Jennings he's got to respect that. He's got to show him plenty of lateral movement, you know, not be drawn in. He's got to have patience himself, work behind the jab. He's been caught again with the left hook.
This is not looking great for Michael Jennings at this stage. He's been caught 3 or 4 times. He may be ahead on points, but Mutley is coming on strong, and his West Midlands supporters are responding. They're roaring him on from some of the seats at the back of the arena, and Mutley's having his best little spell of the fight so far.
Well, he's got the champion forcing the fight now, because the champion's been hurt. He wants to respond. He wants to please this crowd as much as anything else. But he's just got to be patient. He's got to tie Mutley up when they get in close and not allow him to work.
Talking to Errol Johnson, Mutley's trainer, earlier in the week, and there was a lot of confidence in that camp, Duke. They really fancied it.
Well, I mean, it's no surprise, not really. But Jennings has to keep giving him plenty of movement, plenty of lateral movement. See, this is where Mutley wants it up close and physical, because he's physically strong and he can bully the champion.
Jennings, we know, always has a terrific work rate, good jab, and he can work his way through 12 rounds if needed. He knows what it takes to go the distance. There's that left hand of Mutley's again inside, trying to bully Jennings around.
And there was a low blow, unintentional albeit, by Mutley on the inside there. You can just hear the oohs and the ahs from the crowd every time Mutley wings in that big right hand.
Keen students of such matters will see that Mutley on the trunks there is spelt with 1 T. In the record books it's often with 2, and doubtless those who remember the wacky races will probably tell us exactly what it ought to be. Mutley finishing strongly and may have edged this third round.
Stay there, stay there, stay there.
Great left hand that was from Mutley, and he really applied the pressure to Michael Jennings. 2 rounds to 1 we've got it at this stage, but Mutley's certainly right in this one and got a great chance still. Michael Jennings is the drummer. I know it's a bit of a Radio 2 line maybe. He's a drummer for a band called The Shocks.
Well,
would that be a portent?
Let's just hope so. Let's just hope it's not. But that's good advice from his corner. You know, get in, get out, do your work. You don't have to be drawn. You know, try and get this guy into the later rounds and hopefully break him up with your experience.
Good hand speed from Jennings. You see, just on pure boxing, he's got the edge in the jab, hasn't he? He's got the edge in the... Oh, there's the equaliser, the left hook.
Yeah. Well, he's getting into punching range. Caught Mutley with a lovely shot there. He's getting into punching range, throwing these shots, and he's just admiring his work ever so slightly. Just needs to step off. Even after he throws the jab, just step off left or right and not wait. He's going back in a straight line.
Key moments, you sense, here in the fourth.
Mutley switched. He's got him hurt with a left uppercut on the inside. He switched to the southpaw stance and threw a beautiful left uppercut.
nailed him with a hook that created the opening, Duke. He dropped his hands, Jennings, and it just followed through with that left hand. This is boiling up to be the fascinating sort of clash of styles that we suspected it would be, and it's making for a really entertaining fight.
I think it's Mutley who wins the battle on the inside. Oh, he nearly put the lights out with that one.
Talk about the kitchen sink. I think the whole kitchen went there, never mind the sink.
Fortunately for Jennings, Mutley doesn't have an incredible work rate. He can't match him in terms of work rate. So Jennings has to apply that to his work. He has to stay busy, you know, keep the combinations coming. Mutley tends to punch in ones and twos.
Dropped his gloves there, didn't he? Just trying to maybe invite him in, trying to sucker him in to create the opening.
Absolutely.
Mutley, incidentally, his last fight, he's had to drop down even to 4 rounders just to get the contests. He's had a tough time of it as a pro boxer. If you're not one of the favoured ones, you don't always get the breaks and you don't always get the big paydays. Jennings has outworked him though in this fourth, Duke.
Yeah, he's done very well in this round. Mutley hasn't had as much success, nowhere near, because Jennings is keeping his guard tight. He's outworking him 2-1.
4 rounds over now, and Jennings may be leading it by 3-1. Mutley has applied pressure, but Jennings has just outworked him so far, and for us anyway, that is edging the fight.
Yeah, the jab is almost certainly winning this for Jennings. You know, he doubles it up really, really well.
Oh, good shot though from Mutley there.
Again,
He's
there's
got
the left
great
hook.
power, Duke.
He certainly has. It's the left hook and the right hands that are giving the champion the problems. But this is what I expected from Mutley. I expected him to have a bigger round this round, to try and take some kind of control on this fight.
There's a bull-like quality about him, isn't there? And the question was, would he be able to take his power up a division? Well, Jennings has coped with it so far, but he's certainly landed some heavy shots.
Well, you can see what both boys' strategies are for this fight. Jennings will just want to box his way and just keep boxing and not get involved. And Mutley will try and take him out with a beautiful body shot.
So that flurry of body punches, Jennings felt those. You could see for a moment that the legs just sagged slightly, the knees sagged, and the flurry of body punches, Jennings certainly got his respect.
Well, and they were thrown with some real speed as well. Put a nice combination together, 2, 3, 4 punches to the body, and then Jennings just fell in on top of him and smothered his work.
Fascinating fight. And a good left hook from Mutley. Jennings initiating the attack. He's landing more punches. A punch count to be informative. I'm sure that Jennings is landing more, but the greater efficiency of punches from Mutley.
Yeah, Mutley's punches obviously are hurting Jennings far more than Jennings are hurting him. But again, it's Jennings' work rate that's getting him through this round. But Mutley's starting to make his charge now. He's found a beautiful, he switches on the inside and he leads off with a left uppercut to the body, and he's catching Jennings with it every time. If he switches it up to the body and then up to the head, that's where he's going to find some real good success with that shot. But this is what I expected from Mutley in this round, was a bigger drive from him, and that's what we're getting right now.
Such a subjective sort of thing. You've got the 3 judges, Howard Foster, John Keane, Terry O'Connor. They're the men who are going to be deciding if it goes the distance. But for me, you know, Duke, I think the challenge has just edged this one.
Yeah, he's doing really well up until now, and as I said before, John, I figured that he would do. You know, he realised he probably lost the last round or so, so he just wants to try and get himself back into the fight.
No, then go, work away.
Trying to draw Jennings in. good body shots again, one of them a bit low.
Don't relax, that's good.
This fella's just waiting for that one big
Anxious
shot.
times for Michael Jennings. We head now towards the 6th round of a 12-round fight. Jennings may be just edging it, but I tell you what, it's close.
Well, it's up to the champion now to reassert himself, get busy, outwork the challenger, not allow him to set himself. A little bit more variety from the champion, you know, working behind the jab, pop the right hand and step off.
Good body shot again from Mutley, and good hand speed as he stepped inside to land that right hook, Duke.
Well, obviously Mutley's hand speed has been a little bit underrated. We know he can punch. He appears to take a good shot as well, but he's demonstrating some very good hand speed.
Jennings won the title in spectacular fashion when he beat Jimmy Vincent last year. Then had that thrilling fight against Bradley Price. And now here again. Fireworks haven't quite ignited as yet. But it's an intriguing contest nevertheless.
Well, like all punchers, Mutley's quite flat-footed. And that's how he gets his power. That's where he gets his power from, because his feet are so firmly planted on the canvas. But the champion, on the other hand, has got a real spring in his step. He bounces around quite a lot and he pops the jab and moves off. He's got to continue to do that and just continue to try and give this guy as much lateral movement as he can.
Don't let him push you back, Lee. Don't let him push you back.
You hear the Mutley corner shouting, "Don't let him push you back, Lee." Lee Woodley, his real name. I remind you, we can catch all the boxing news on itv.com/boxing, and also replays of some of the most exciting fights seen on the network recently.
Well, Jennings was in probably the most dramatic and exciting British Championship fight I've seen in quite a long time in his last fight. This boy doesn't disappoint.
Well, for me, it was fight of the year. Oh, good shot from Mutley. Now it starts to heat up. For a moment, they were going toe-to-toe.
Well, Jennings is trying to fight this guy and meet him punch for punch. I'm still not sure that's the right tactic. They both landed good shots. They were both hurt.
Yeah, you kind of look at Mutley and think, not the man to fight with macho bravado.
Absolutely, John.
Get in and out. Jennings' corner was saying, that's what Brian Hughes was saying to him.
Get your eyes on him, Lee.
But is he getting that mobility that his corner would hope for? I suspect not.
There's a real urgency about the champion's work.
Well, that's the end of the 6th round. Now, did Jennings do enough to take that one, Duke?
I believe so, John. I believe so. Sheer greater work rate, volume of punches.
Yeah, feel it, you're getting your rhythm back now.
Brian Hughes, who's been a leading figure of Manchester boxing for so long. And here it was where they momentarily were both trying to really load up with big shots. Who got the better of it? 6 of one and half a dozen of another, I reckon.
Yeah, it really was tit for tat.
Move your head, pop, pop.
You're willing punch them.
Just show the jab. You've got to give it to
People
him now.
also saying, let's keep yourself more mobile, move your head.
You've got to want it more than him. You've got to show it, son. Come on.
Second attempt, round 7.
Into the second half of the fight. Jennings might be just shading it, but not by a lot.
Well, it was interesting enough in the corner there that Jennings actually said to his trainer he feels that Mutley's starting to tire now and he feels that he's got him. We shall see.
That's good from Jennings. The combination together, and is it my imagination or is Mutley just starting to blow a bit more?
Well, as I said before, he doesn't have a high work rate, John. Obviously, he relies on his power. It wouldn't surprise me if he's blowing a little bit. I mean, he's worked quite hard by his standards.
Well, if nothing else out of this, he's been one of the who needs him sort of fighters. He's been something of an avoided man as young Mutley, Lee Woodley. But even if he loses this one, people are certainly going to remember him after this one. He's having his moment of fame.
Well, the dangerous thing about Mutley, obviously, is that he can turn this fight around at any given time. If he lands that bingo shot, it's lights out.
It's getting a bit untidy. Referee Mark Green having a word. You can do better than that, boys. And it is starting to get a bit messy.
Walk away, let's go.
Yeah, there's a definite decline now in Mutley's work rate. He's starting to moan a little bit, you know, the heads are getting a little bit close. And he's talking to Jennings and just sort of saying, watch your head, I guess.
You always suspect when fighters start to grumble and groan that next moment they're looking for the referee. But he is dangerous, that left hand. Dangerously close to the button so far as Jennings concerned as he unloaded that uppercut.
Well, you know, Jennings is forcing the fight because he can feel that Mutley's work rate's starting to go down, and he's tiring him a little bit.
Jennings is a terrifically fit man, isn't he?
Oh, he certainly is. He has to be the certainly one of our most fittest British champions.
So many of these fighters, top-class fighters, pile in the miles on the roads. Think of Jim McDonnell, used to be a terrific fighter a few years back. He was a really good runner. Harold Graham, great runner. And this fella, Michael Jennings, he ran cross-country for Lancashire schools.
Well, Jennings is making him miss and making him pay.
Well, that's Jennings' round. Got to be. Jennings is, to my way of looking at this scorecard, starting to edge away now. And Mutley knows, or his corner knows, that he's got to do more.
Okay, you've switched off, got me. Okay, nice and tight, deep press, okay? Okay, deep press.
Duke's got it by 3 rounds.
Get that jab working all
68
the time.
to 65. I certainly wouldn't argue with that, Duke. I think that's pretty much how I'd see it as well.
That was a good round by the champion now.
You're winning. Don't throw it away now, son.
They're saying he's winning, and I don't think he is.
You've got to up your right now.
I don't think that's the way they're going to be seeing it. Wonder what they're reckoning over here.
You've made it tired now. Right? No, you're just getting a little more. Right in front, mate. Stay there.
Second change, round 8.
8th round of 12, and we've got it 5 rounds to 2 for the champion Michael Jennings. But a lot of those rounds have been close, so don't be surprised if it's slightly different on the judges' cards.
Again, I think what we're seeing from Mutley now is that he realises he's lost the last couple of rounds, and he has to try and really get a hold of this fight. He has to try and hit the champion, hurt the champion. You know, he's looking for a knockdown to claw his way back into this fight.
He's just being outboxed a little, Duke.
Well,
the skill factor is negating the power.
He's a little bit pedestrian now in his approach. He's become a little bit too one-paced, and he's going to have to get hold of the champion, physically rough him up. You know, like I said before, he needs to hurt him, so he's got to really inject some pace into his work.
Mark Green asking if they could possibly tidy it up a bit as well. Both men being spoken to. Body shot from Jennings was a good one, the left hand.
Yeah, body shot hurt Mutley. He went back quite voluntarily there.
And he catches Jennings with a left hand himself and another left into the body. But Jennings, I'm sure, said that he hurt him with that shot.
Absolutely, it was a good shot from the champion. And you just saw Mutley take a big, deep intake of breath when he took the punch. His hands are down now, which will tell you now that he's just starting to suck up large amounts of air.
Jennings is going looking for him. The hands are starting to drop, and there's an air of desperation now about some of Mutley's work.
All of a sudden, Mutley's work's just gone out the window, looking a bit sorry for himself in there. It's the champion's greater volume of punches, as we said earlier, that's just starting to tell now. Mutley's work looks very, very untidy.
Well, for me, Michael Jennings so far has done a good job. There were moments when Mutley was teeing off with that big left hand early on, but Jennings, the further the fight has gone, has used his mobility and his work rate and is now in a clear lead. Surely he must be.
Yeah, a lot of Mutley's work looks quite sloppy. Okay, landing one good shot, but one good shot doesn't win the round.
Left hand though, Jennings felt it and it landed pretty flush. Closing stages of the 8th.
Jennings is doubling up on the jabs, which is really good. He should step to his right, come back with the right hand, and then he's got a clear shot in.
This is a good round for Michael Jennings. He got caught by one left hand from Mutley, but Jennings, by and large, has boxed his way through this one. And that's got to be due. We've got to have scored this one 6 rounds to 2 now.
Yeah, I've got the champion in a very good lead.
I wonder if we're reading it right. Everybody at home, of course, will have their own ideas. Mutley's got the support of perhaps more people in the crowd. A lot of people come across in coaches from the West Midlands. This was a big attack from Michael Jennings.
It certainly was. That was the body shot that hurt Money. Look at his elbow go down to protect his ribs. He's hurt, he's pushed him back, he's physically got hold of him.
But Mutley showed plenty of resolve and came back with that good left hand of his own.
Yeah, but the one shot doesn't win in the round. He was systematically outworked throughout the whole of that round.
Don't stand with him. In and out, make it clean. Make it clean. Do you understand me? Now come on, get going then.
Keep it simple.
You're fighting this kind of fight. Come on now.
Well, we've got him winning that one, but by the voice of Brian Hughes there in that Jennings corner, he's still concerned that he's not fighting the fight that he ought to be. He wants to see more mobility, more jabbing, more moving.
Well, Brian can obviously see the big picture. There's a world ranking on the line also. He doesn't want his boy to get beat. This is, you know, supposedly another learning curve for Jennings. He needs to get through this fight unscathed, or as unscathed as possible, because when he moves to the next level, the gulf between domestic level and world level is huge.
And the WBO champion, for whom Jennings is the #1 challenger, Antonio Margarito of Mexico, believe me, he is one tasty fighter.
Well, you know, the ratings that Jennings has got right now, I'm not so sure he actually deserves it, but, you know, if he gets the championship fight, you can't deny him that. However, Margarito is probably the best welterweight on the planet. Zab Judah's just been beaten, and everybody was raving about him prior to that defeat, but Margarito now has to be the guy to beat.
There again, Jennings dragged into a bit of toe-to-toe action, and Mutley landing with one left hook. And momentarily there were a few anxious looks in the corner on the far side of the ring from where we're sitting, and that's the Jennings corner. They're urging him to throw the jab, to stick and move. The one from Mutley looked suspiciously low to me. It was on the blind side of the referee. Got away with that one, but it rattled in some way below the waistband.
Jennings just won't, he will not be denied. He's got a fantastic work rate, he's snappy, but his trainer's instructed him, and this is where he shouldn't be, getting involved. Takes a big hook from Mutley.
This is where Mutley wants him, Duke, and just momentarily he landed with a really good solid left hand.
He certainly did. He doesn't have to get involved. He's a mile ahead on points. Just stick to what he does best. Nice snappy boxing, but he keeps forcing the fight.
You can guarantee that if he wins this one, he'll be on the pitch at the Hawthorns. Big Baggies fan is young Mutley and his dad. Richie Woodall was another one.
Yeah, he certainly was. Former WBC world champion. There's that big sweeping left hook. That was a hurtful punch, and Jennings wants to hold on.
Jennings has maybe edged the round for me, but those big punches, how much do they catch the judge's eye? But then there's one from Jennings. Good body shot, terrific left hook from Mutley.
Jennings wants to out-punch the puncher, and it's not the right tactic.
Well, end of the 9th round. Better round for Mutley. Do you think he did enough to win it, Duke?
No, I don't think he's done enough to win it. I'd give it even.
Listen.
Well, by way of controversy, I'll give that one to Mutley. I've now got it 6 rounds to 3 for Jennings, but what a good shot that was.
It was a good shot. I mean, this is where Mutley wants it. Up close and physical. There's the left hook, and that hurt.
But Jennings, you see, he's getting right into his territory, isn't he? We know when he's fighting in the proverbial telephone box, that is where, not that you get telephone boxes nowadays, but you know what I'm on about. That's where Mutley wants it.
Well, absolutely, and that's where Mutley wins the fight. Mutley knows now he's only got one chance of winning this, and that's by the knockout.
Head and body, double that body. Left hook body, left hook head.
Back him up with that jab.
Keep backing him up with it, the jab. Double it up with the lift in the
I've got it Jennings by 3 rounds at this stage. Duke, you've got it by 4.
Second round.
Give them the one
Round
even.
10.
Yeah, I've still got Jennings comfortably ahead. I'd like to see him dominate the rest of this fight with the jab and then follow through with the right hands.
3 rounds to go. Jennings so far has just about managed to cope with the power of Mutley, and the way we're seeing it is winning the fight on his boxing skills and work rate.
The question now on Mutley's lips is, will he go for a broke? You know, will he throw caution to the wind and just go for the knockout? Because obviously that's what he needs, in my opinion, to win this fight. He's letting this slip away. He's allowing Jennings to outwork him. Not out-punch him, but just outwork him. I'm just hoping Jennings doesn't make the mistake and realise that he's, you know, maybe 3-4 rounds ahead and go looking for the knockout.
We've seen a few of those, haven't we? Remember Harold Graham and Julian Jackson?
Oh, well, there's a primed example, John. He'll be a mile ahead.
There's one round the back of the head, and you're not allowed to do that one. Michael Jennings getting away with that one. Referee content just to break them. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, John, this is better intelligent boxing from Jennings, because he's popping the jab and he's making the champion, he's making the challenger miss. Mutley's actually hitting thin air at the moment.
But then gets in with the body attack, and suddenly the spring is taken out of Jennings' step.
Fortunately, Mutley cannot sustain these attacks. They're spasmodic attacks.
Jennings, I'm sure, must be being told to stick to your boxing, box your way through this, and the title is still yours. Mutley just plodding after him, trying to cut him off, Duke, but not showing the foot speed to do so.
No, but he's looking for the right hand. He's looking for the big right hand over the top.
Jennings, we think, has got a little bit of a nick, perhaps on the side of his nose, a little bit of blood there. Nothing too serious. Yeah, it's on the left-hand side of the nose. There's a smear of blood there. Good uppercut. That's a good shot from Mutley, but doesn't follow it up.
Yeah, he's landing with these shots, and when he lands with the big shots, he doesn't seem to be able to back them up.
Lands with the left hand, and he's sort of crying out for the overhand right to follow it up, but it wasn't there. Never got the speed to get there.
Just wasn't there, John. As I said before, Mutley is a little bit predictable, in as much as when he throws the big shots, you know what's coming.
He's thrown some good shots, but not enough. I think that's another Jennings round. How did you score it, Jim?
Yeah, you know, John, I'm going to score it even.
That's called a cop-out.
Well, I hate to fence it, but the big punches were landed by the challenger, and Jennings just pot shot it just a little bit.
Let's take a look again at some of the action. There's a good right hand from Mutley as Jennings walked into it, trying to throw the left hook. And here comes the uppercut. There you go. Well, more of a hook, actually. And he just partially blocked it with his right glove.
Just blocked it.
Well, that's no great damage. And a little bit of a smear of grease does it. I've got it 7 rounds to 3 now for Jennings. Arrives at a similar sort of tally by a slightly different route. A couple of drawn rounds.
As I said, John, I hate to fence it, but I've got the champion now in a comfortable lead. I'd expect him to maintain that. I wouldn't expect him to make any silly mistakes and end up getting chinned.
You don't get too many drawn rounds in scoring nowadays. I remember commentating with Henry Cooper years ago, and he'd give plenty of rounds as draws, but you don't tend to get too many now.
Well, nice to see Jennings. His jab is still working. It's still nice and snappy.
Good body shot from Mutley as he got inside, but again, just the single shot. And Jennings worked well off the ropes.
Yeah, he certainly did.
Jennings is used to sparring with punchers. You know, he's in the ring with Gary Lockett. He's been there with Robin Reed as well. He knows all about getting in with people who can hit hard and how to avoid them.
Well, he's done a good job because he's nullified pretty much everything Mutley's had to offer him this evening. Okay, the fight's not over yet, so let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
And I suppose we shouldn't get too carried away with the fact that this is how we're scoring it. Doesn't necessarily mean to say it will automatically couldn't be confirmed by the 3 wise men.
Sure, it's amazing how somebody can see a fight completely different to how we're seeing it. But as you said, there are official judges on this fight who will all score differently.
Yeah, always particularly wary when I set foot in Las Vegas of that sort of situation. Funny things happen. Oh, good shot. And body shots to follow up. Here comes Mutley.
Jennings just switched off there just momentarily and had to pay the price.
One or two other people at ringside suggesting that it's a little bit closer than we see it.
Once or twice Mutley's thrown low blows on the blind side of the referee. Again, unintentional, but he's got away with it.
Made my eyes water, that last one. Kind of hurts when you get hit down there.
Well, whatever happens now, Mutley has not disgraced himself, no way, shape or form.
Yeah, he's shown very definitely, whatever the scores are here, he's shown that he belongs in championship class. And hopefully, no, that's not allowed. You do not do that, and he is going to get it well. He gets away with just a lecture. But stop boxing, clearly heard. You probably heard it on our effects mics, and that little uppercut which went in, you don't do that.
Right, let go.
A big effort from Mutley in this round, Duke.
Yeah, you've got to give it to him.
I think he's edging this one. I think Mutley, for me, takes that round.
Yeah.
Just by dint of power punches and sheer determination to carry the fight to Jennings.
Well, he's needed to.
Keep popping it. This is your one, son. This is the one, son.
And it's here.
Okay, deep breath. At the end. Hey, hands up when you've won. Got me at the end. Got me deep breath, come on.
Well, they think he's won this fight. They think if he has a big round, he's going to get this one. See what the other corner's saying.
Come on, man.
Well, there's no two great signs of anxiety there.
But well, you've got to pull out now for 3 minutes. Hey, come on now, son.
Well, they think that he's got to win this last round as well. So there you go. Say it's a subjective thing. I've got it Jennings by 3 rounds. It seems to me that both corners make it a lot closer.
As I said before, it's incredible to see how different people see different fights. But I've got the champion, in my opinion, ahead.
Are we going to see an upset? That's a good shot from Mutley. The corner have said to him, go out there and win this last round and then celebrate it as a winner at the end.
Well, I'm sticking by my guns. I still feel the champion is in a comfortable lead. He hasn't made too many mistakes all evening, but obviously his corner see it completely different. It might be reverse psychology. They might just be saying to him, you know, do what you've got to do, win this round just to cement victory.
I've got it Jennings by 3.
However, I still feel that Jennings is winning this fight. Mutley's having a good last round, however. He's really putting it in.
Mutley is coming plodding forward and is landing the power shots. But Jennings tying him up effectively. Jennings again is trying to fight on the counter. Mutley's the one who's forcing the fight.
Oh, big shot. Big shot from the challenger. That's the left hook. Pet punch from the challenger.
That's another good shot.
The champion now needs to walk into the ropes and bide a little bit of time. Tie him up, smother his work, not allow him to get any of these punches off.
Jennings' mouth is just hanging open a little bit, Duke. He's sucking in the air. He's feeling the pace in this last minute, and a gruelling fight it's been.
It's been a very difficult fight, a very hard fight, but the champion, I still feel, is winning the fight. Perhaps not winning this round.
Mutley may be edging this last one. It should bring it back to, bring it closer. It'd still have Jennings winning the fight. But it looks as though this is going to go to the cards. Plenty of people thought that a banger like Mutley and Jennings, who also likes to get in there nowadays and try and impose himself on a fight, that it wouldn't go the distance, but it's going to go right the way to the line. Who's going to present the grandstand finish? Mutley, body shots. And the hook to the head.
It's been a gallant effort by the challenger. Let's see how the judges score it.
Well, there you are. The two embrace, and both men think they've got it. I've got it Jennings by 7 rounds to 5. Duke's got it also, I think, by a 2-round margin. There's the Mutley fans. They think that he's won it, and he is looking as though he's won it. But Michael Jennings is walking around the ring, and he's celebrating as well. So here we are. Have you got it at home? We've got it just to the challenger. Status quo maintained, to the champion rather. Status quo maintained. He's looking to make it 29 out of 29. Mutley has fought a great fight, whichever way it goes. He's getting congratulations in the corner from some of his fans, is Mutley. Jennings, meanwhile, is prowling around. These are anxious times for fighters. Must be all sorts of things going through your mind at this point, Duke.
Well, when it's as close as that, obviously, you're looking out to the crowd because you're looking for little signs of approval. I've got the champion by 2.
Yep, I'd agree with that one. I'd agree with that. 115, 113, I've got it. But, well, we will see. Barry McGuigan's got it 116, 113 in favour of Jennings. So that's 3 out of 3 from your ITV commentary team. And in just a moment or two, we will get confirmation or an announcement of the result. It's taking a long time. They want to make absolutely certain that this is 100% correct. And Michael Pass, our Master of Ceremonies, moves into position. And I think we have got the result. Let's go up into the ring and get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. Judge Howard Foster scores the contest 115 to 113 for Jennings. Judge John Keane scores the contest 116 to 113 for Mutley. And Judge Terry O'Connor also scores the contest 116 to 113 for the winner by split decision and new welterweight champion of Great Britain from West Bromwich, young
I find that surprising, but having said that, as we said throughout, it's a subjective sort of game, and the judges have been swayed by power, by work rate, by the man who never took a backward step against the man who was boxing, landing more punches and trying to use mobility. We didn't see it that way, but there you go, 2-1 in favour of Mutley. I am amazed.
Well, I tell you, I did think the champion won the fight, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a judge. I'm just obviously someone who's been in this position, but you can't take it away from Mutley. You know, he's fought his fight. The judges have seen how he's fought his kind of fight, and they've favoured him.
Tell you what, Duke, you know, I mean, it's interesting that the judge who scored it as we did, 115, 113, Howard Foster, was sitting just in front of us, so he's got the same sort of angle as we have. Seeing it from another angle, you know, could be a different story. Exactly.
I mean, you know, we always knew this kid was going to be dangerous, and as I said before, you know, John, we're not the judges, we're not the official judges, we just give our opinion.
Either way, a cracking fight, and young Mutley, a man who said he could have had a bad life if he'd not had boxing, now he tastes the good life.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Duke. Boing, boing, baggies. That's the Albion war cry, and boing, boing. Young Mutley is the new British champion. What a turn-up here in Nottingham. We will be hearing from him. We'll also talk to Amir Khan, and there is more action to come. We have a new British welterweight champion. We have had a major upset here, and this is the fellow who has caused it, young Mutley, Lee Woodley, whatever you want to call yourself. What a fantastic performance from you. Are you surprised you're the new British champion?
Yeah, I'm very surprised, and I've got to thank Jennings for giving me the chance. I knew he was super fit, and I knew what I had to do. I knew I had the strength and power to beat him. I just worked harder on my training for my fitness, because I knew he's super fit.
How much does this mean to you? Because you've slogged through pretty hard times in this sport, and one of your handlers said you were even going to pack it in if you hadn't got this chance tonight.
Yeah, I was going to pack it in because people was avoiding me and they like welterweight, so... And then I got this chance and I took it, and I won it. And a lot of people have helped me through this, a lot of people, especially Stuart Bowen and my girlfriend.
We'll have a word with your lady in just a moment, hopefully, but what about the decision itself? When you heard those words, we have a split decision, what did you think deep down?
I don't think I'd won it if it was split. I thought I'd won it clear, but not split. More rounds than a split.
We all knew that you had a big punch on you. I mean, goodness me, you landed some massive left hooks, particularly throughout that fight, didn't I think we can have a look at one or two of them now down there.
Yeah. I knew I had the power to knock him out. I was doing that a bit too much. I was looking for the one shot. That's a bad habit I got. He took some good shots. He got a good chin, man.
You know, one of those fights was very, very hard to score at ringside, the likes of Duke McKenzie, Barry McGuigan. I must say, I didn't have you winning the fight. Were you aware it was as close as that?
No, I wasn't aware it was that close. I thought I was well out.
You thought you won it comfortable?
Yeah.
And you had a lot of support here from West Bromwich Albion, from West Bromwich, from the Albion as well. I would think you'd be on that pitch at the old Hawthorn soon, carrying that belt around, won't you?
Yeah, I should be, yeah. I've got to thank all my fans for coming as well, coming down to support me.
There's a lady here, Jade, who's been suffering alongside. She's got the biggest smile in Nottingham, the biggest smile in the Midlands at the moment, I would think. I don't want to jump the gun here on any domestic issues, but I said, are you married? You said, not yet. Do you think this might be a defining point in your relationship?
Yes. We've been trying to save up married, so hopefully this will help us get on the way. Yeah, next 2 years, hopefully.
Okay, and a huge night for you now. Now, what about, I mean, he will want a rematch, I would imagine. Would you give him another shot at that belt?
Yeah, if he wants to, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll be fitter next time and stronger. So I'll be looking forward to it if he wants the rematch.
And it's come late. You're in the big time now. If we just take that's a famous old Lonsdale belt you've got round you now. No matter what else happens to you, you've had one of those round your belt. What a night for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Many congratulations. A great fight from our point of view. Well done. We look forward to seeing more of you. Smashing.
Oh, yeah, thanks a lot.
Well done, guys. Well, the pros didn't agree with the verdict. I know that. Let's see what they made of the fight itself. Let's go over to Duke and to Barry.
Thanks, Jim. How do we justify that, Duke? It's a hell of a fight. From our angle, I thought that Jennings done enough to win.
I thought the champion just did enough for me, Barry, just on work rate and volume. However, the judges didn't see it. I think they've gone for power.
Yeah, and absolutely, because Jennings was hurt, his head was snapped back a lot, and even from the very beginning, round 2, Mutley started with his solid work, and these long punches that look, they look very, they're very dramatic. They impressed the judges. And, he was always there, a very solid guy. I didn't think he could carry his power with him, but he certainly did, Duke.
Well, he was very patient. He wanted to keep it close. He worked quite hard for the fight, but I thought the champion just did enough. He was always busy. Okay, the body shots hurt him. Mutley, that's where he needed to be, nice and close and whacking in close.
Yeah. Well, we're not experts, but the champion did fight back, and he did look like he was doing the better work and the neater work. And just he seemed to be closing the distance all the time and just pressing ahead and edging the rounds. But again, they're very scrappy, and that body shot in the 8th round seemed to take the wind out of Mutley, and it just looked at that stage like the champion was beginning to edge ahead.
But you see here in round 9, this is where the champion wanted it up close and personal, wanted to keep the champion on his back foot, but every time the champion got ahead, the challenger comes straight back at him, and I just thought the last round was Mutley's best round.
Yeah, I thought Mutley did make a big surge at the end, and I thought he landed a cleaner shot. Every one of those left hooks to the body. This guy can really bang. He really can bang, and I'll tell you what, he is a valuable addition to the welterweight division. He's brought his power with him. I certainly think he's probably even a better puncher because he's carried that speed up as a welterweight than he was as a light welterweight. Very good indeed.
Absolutely, and he will make a better champion now. The fact that he's won the championship, he should go on and become even more capable of what he already is.
Yeah, welterweight division's hotting up. We got Ross Minter there as well. It's becoming an exciting division.
Now it is, yeah, absolutely. As you said, you've got Minter on the fringes, but now we've got a new champion in Mutley. Yeah. This makes for a good return.
And Bradley Price will be sitting on the edges saying, it's my chance. I had the champion in Dire Straits the last time. I want to get back in there.
Sure.
Listen, back to you, Jim. Great fight.
Thank you very much indeed, guys. A really big upset then to start 2006. We have a terrific lineup of big fight action coming your way here on ITV. Here are just a couple of the headlines.